everyone. Welcome back to the show. This is GenXMan, and based on the interest of last week's World of Warcraft video and my own interest as well, I decided to do another of these things. And in today's episode, we're going to dive into big changes I'd love to see regarding races within the game, as well as a whole slew of races that are baffling still available for play. Let's get into this. I'll start this off by stating the first thing I'd like to see. Actually, not a race itself. It's a complete revamp of the race selection menu at character creation. Instead of clicking on Darkspear Troll or Zandalari Troll, I want to just see Troll as a core pick, and then use the slider option, like they already do with a number of races, to differentiate between the various sub-races, and to pick whichever flavor of ice cream sounds good today. The racial abilities can then be linked to whatever you pick from the slider and have a little box at the top there notifying you. This would eliminate a ton of visual clutter at character creation, and I imagine it'd clean up the programming as well. So, anyway, now that being said, let's get into part the first of races I would love to see in the game, but probably never will. Number 10, half-breeds. We got a little of this in that humans and Kultirans can now have pointy ears. We need to take that several steps further. And again, this can just be a slider menu option. Totally cosmetic. I mean, if Blizz wanted to get ambitious, they would maybe give you the option to pick between either set of racials like in D&D, but as I don't see even the cosmetic option happening, the option of picking racials is so far beyond possibility, it's not worth mentioning. So, moving on. Number 9, centaurs. This would have been the perfect race to introduce with Dragonflight, outside the obvious inclusion of Drakthir. And in fact, the wife and I were suspicious that might be a thing for a long while after that quest where you help Bane and the centaurs reconcile. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if they introduced an unlocked quest line for centaurs after you do this? Yeah, that didn't happen. But you will never hear me say Dragonflight didn't give us enough. At some point, I'm going to put out a video about how much I loved Dragonflight, but it's a big topic with a metric ton of things to go over. So that's not going to be right now. You got to work on that one. But moving on. Number 8. Either Saberon from WoD or Tolvir from Kata, or both. But this is actually 2 races. It's one of those things that I'd take either if Blizz offered them. I played Tagorian in Star Wars. I played Leonin in D&D and Magic the Gathering. I enjoy playing with a cat person action figure. I mean, we got Battle Beast from Robert Kirkman. There's plenty of cultural demand for such a race, and they could easily be built off the Worgen frame, just like they already are. Just reskin the thing. Somebody online suggested, heck, even give druids the option of unlocking a Saberon-like form from their Ashimane artifact. That's not the worst idea I've heard. It'd be something at least. But number 7, ethereals. Would have been sweet back in TBC when they were first introduced, and we were all picking our jaws off the floor with how cool they looked. But I'd accept it as an unlocked quest line during the new Koresh Zone playthrough. Blizz. Give us the slider option so we can be brokers or ethereals or whatever. That would be pretty amazing. And Blizz could even charge via the store for the unlock like they do with cosmetics. $20 or whatever. You know people will pay. Blizz. It's printing money. Anyway. Number 6, Tortolan. Already in the game, freaking everywhere. You can't tell me Blizz doesn't have the model assets to copy pasta over and just work out casting animations and such. Give them a ratio where you take less damage as you hunker in your shell. Maybe a swim buff, extended water breathing bar, that kind of thing. I have dreamt of a Tertullian warrior, all the big, thick plate armor wielding some sweet weapons and an epic shield. And what about all the Ninja Turtle stuff they added to the trading post lately, where I saw people running around dungeons as literal Ninja Turtles? There's demand, Blizz. There's just not supply. Get on it. Number 5, Kobolds. I would play the crap out of a kobold. I would travel the many worlds of Warcraft and show that for this little furry miscreant, you would not be taking the candle. Maybe a kobold fire mage dress up like those jerks in the caves in Elwyn Forest. Remember when you'd start out to exploring there back in the day when the game was still deadly and those guys would light you up? Man, we could be those guys. The geomancers, yeah. Ratios would be pretty similar to goblins or some such, I'm sure. And really, though, the little noises they make when they fight and get punted would do it for me. Whack! That'd just be so much fun. Number four, Tuskar. Even more so than Tortolans, why do we not have Tuskar? People have been asking for this since Wrath. I know, I was there. I was one of those dudes. They're just the Pandaren frame. So again, there's no excuse as far as building the frame from the ground up. Just copy pasta the casting and swinging animations, slap on some appropriate ratio regarding fish or cooking or hunting or something, and go. I mean, how many times have we seen people pining for a Tuskar hunter? Can you imagine survival with your Audic at your side and your bone harpoon decked out in your fursuit? I mean, that's it right there. Why don't we have that? Number three, Murlocs. This is one I confess would have to be built from the ground up, as off the top of my head, I can't point to an asset remotely close to it, which is shorthand for saying there is no chance of ever seeing this race. But how cool would it be? People would absolutely play it. And again, they could sell the option in the shop. People will pay. But it would cost us another dwarf race, or heavens forbid, whatever that atrocious horror show, elf, troll, orc thing we found in Hollow Follows, which I strongly suspect they're dying to introduce as an option. That over Murlocs, Blizz? Really? Number two, ogres. The Horde has called for ogres since before there was even a World of Warcraft. It poses serious problems. One serious problem for sure. Size. As an oversized mob, I can't even imagine the nightmare of coding it. But wouldn't it be cool? People would totally play. Horde could get ogres, maybe allies could get Vrykul. There'd be the slider option for the two-headed ones. And there's tons of emotes out there. It's lore essential, and yet here we are still without it. But again, though, the thing would be an issue. But there's an easy solution: shrinking potions. We already have giant growth. Why not the opposite? Like the Noggin Fogger and so on. Then alchemists could make some money selling these to ogre players who need it to fit through a doorway. There's potential there. Or just program them so they're tar in size or slightly larger, or something like that. I'm just saying, people have demanded it since 2004, and here we are, over 20 years later, no closer. Blizz, you've lost the will of the people. Number one, stewards. My number one wish list race I know we'll never see, stewards from Bastion. I saw these adorable little plushies and went, oh my lord, I need to play that. Of course, it's Shadowlands, though, so I saw it very briefly before I unsubscribed. But anyway, see, I'm that guy that saw Vault Spire of Secrets, saw there was a race option for playing a stuffed animal, and went, I need this. Go on a grand quest with your wooden sword and your battered plate as your shield and patched up where your stuffing's coming out and so on. I would pay for this. I would hand over hard currency for this option. Maybe they make little squeaky toy sounds when they get punted or injured or whatever. You have to get repair kits from tailoring to heal you. Like instead of potions, you've got needle and thread. Oh my God, I need this. This is why I'm tempted away from WoW for pencil and paper because I can actually play things I'm dying for, things I've wanted for decades, not another ugly dwarf race. So there you have it, folks. Part the first of a series I plan on doing where I discuss what I'd like to see in World of Warcraft, what I like, what I dislike, and many other things besides. It took me a while to reach this point of posting videos about the game as I have so much to talk about. I just wasn't sure where to start first, and I didn't want it to just descend into negativity fest, as it's so easy to do when you play this game for as long as I have, and you have these decades of wishes and expectations and frustrations. But I enjoy these middle ground videos, and I hope you all are too. So, thanks so much for tuning in. Give me a moment of your time. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to peruse my little variety show here on YouTube. I hope I entertained you, and if I did, might I impose upon you to hit that like button? YouTube loves it when you do, and I get all embarrassed and flattered. Somebody out there on internet land got a kick out of this old hillbilly rambling about geek stuff. If you want to see more, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and the bell icon will let you know when I put something out, which happens fairly often. That's all I got for today. So get out there, roll some dice, watch some cartoons, read some comics, do something you love, drink some water, and always have a good one.